I've got a confession to make. I am a freaking competitive jack donkey. I know, I said jack donkey. My wife thinks I make everything a competition. I'm like, babe, I don't. You're freaking crazy. And she's like, you're crazy. I'm like, I know. I am. And I'm okay with it. But I do have a confession to make. I made my son cry the other day because I became a psychotic, crazy dad. Yeah, I know. No judgment here. Don't you judge me. But you don't know what you don't know. And I remember before I had kids, I would say, I don't care what they do. I just want them to be happy, right? I really want my kids to play sports, and I'm working through that, okay? I'm talking to people, and I'm working through it and processing it. So I'm getting better. But my son is in the most competitive baseball league in Raleigh, maybe the world, West Raleigh Baseball. He had to try out to get on this team. He's 6 years old. He made the team. I'm so proud of him. So come the first game, he sits for 3 innings. They only have 6 innings. And I'm on the sidelines like freaking out. I'm like, do I need to talk to coach? What is wrong with the coach? God, and my wife's like, calm down. I'm like, I'm calm, chill out. You chill out. So, I worked through that, thankful for my wife. And, so after my son, Declan, wants to go to the batting cage, I'm like, this is awesome, right? He wants to put the extra work in. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. So we go to the batting cage and he bats, and he can bat. And so, actually backtrack a little bit. I'm like, son, are you okay? Because he sat 3 innings. If that was me, I'd be crushed. And he's like, yeah, I'm great, Dad. I was like, did you have fun? He was like, yeah, great, Dad. Loved it. Are you okay with sitting 3 innings? He was like, yeah, I really loved it. I was like, wait, what do you mean you loved it? He was like, I got to rest. I was like, you don't even run in baseball. Come on. I didn't say it like that, but that's what I thought on the inside. Anyway, I was like, all right, whatever. So we started batting, and I was like, oh, you need to catch, man. Let's catch. Because he really can't catch. And so he's getting better, though. He can catch now a little bit. And so he couldn't catch. And so I'm already worked up at this time. And have you ever had that experience where you're losing it and you can't stop yourself? I've had that experience a lot of times. But I'm like, Declan, come on, you gotta catch the baseball. Like Soul can catch a baseball. He can't catch a baseball. He's 2 years old. And I shouldn't have compared my youngest son to my oldest son. But look, I'm a screwed up individual. And anyway, so side note there, I'm sure you already knew that. But I actually ended up making him cry. I know, I felt horrible, so horrible. And I apologized profusely that day and for 4 days after that, because I just felt horrible. I never want to be that psychotic dad. And I'm sensitive to this because of just my identity in soccer and struggling through that, and people loving me just because of soccer, or thinking they love me just because of soccer and that sort of thing. And I'm more than an athlete, and Declan is more than a baseball player. That is for sure. And so, yeah, I want to tell you this. I'm really proud of myself because the second time, after the second game, I went to the batting cages again, and I kept it together. Yes! I did it. Progress, not perfection. I kept it together, and Declan was like, Dad, this is way better than the first time. So I was that psychotic dad, and I don't know, do you relate? Have you ever been there? Like, we want our kids to thrive so much, and I think for me it was a little bit of an ego thing. Like, I was going to fields and I always felt like I was the best player and that sort of thing, and just struggling through, Declan's different from me, and that's okay. And God is using my son, no doubt, in a big, bad way to make me more like Jesus and to mold me and to make me a better man. And so I'm thankful for that. Thank you, Declan, for doing that. Although I don't appreciate it when it's happening, I know it's for my good and God's glory. My biggest prayer for my kids, and I pray this over them just about every night, is that, Lord, show me their gifts, the gifts and skills that you have given them. You knit them together, God. Show me how you made them so that I can help foster those gifts through them. And it's almost like Declan is just, and God is showing me those gifts. And through Declan, Declan talks often about science. He loves science. And so I asked him the other day, I was like, Declan, would you rather be we play this game, would you rather be a pro athlete or like a rock star musician? He's like, I'd rather be a scientist. And I'm like, that is awesome. Freaking awesome. I was doing dishes the other day and he came in and was like, Dad, can we do a science project? I was like, yeah. What kind of science project? I don't know, Dad, just a really cool science project. And so I'm like, yeah, I got to do that. And so when Declan usually asks me in the past, when he usually asks me, Dad, what do you want to do? I'm like, you want to play soccer? Nah. Want to play baseball? So like my instincts are just to go to who I am and what I want him to do. And he's giving me these signs like, Dad, I love science, man. I love these other things. And I'm like, that is awesome. And so it's taken some counseling and some mentoring and some really awesome people speaking to my life saying, well, let's do a science project with him, you dummy. Like he's telling you what he wants to do. God's showing you, so do it. My biggest prayer for my kids is that they're on loan to me. They're God's. They're on loan to me, is that I could just, I could help them become all that God has created in me and not try to form them into the image, my image or the image that I want for them. And second, behind that is, Lord Jesus, please don't let me screw these kids up, because I don't want to do that. So anyway, I don't know if you can relate to being the crazy parent. Show yourself grace if you've ever been there. And it's humbling. Having kids is humbling. Life is humbling. And so we have to show ourselves grace. And yes, I've forgiven myself for that. It is hard, difficult, but I'm moving on because that's not who I am, and I'm getting better and growing and learning. And I believe in the power of sharing our weaknesses and struggles. I made my kid cry in the batting cages, and he's 6 years old because he couldn't catch the ball. Yeah, I'm ashamed of that. But there's freedom in saying that, because I believe at the end of the day, we're all screwed up, and that we relate more to our weaknesses than we do to our successes. And so we got to share. And there's true power and healing and growth and strength and vulnerability and authenticity. And those words are thrown around a lot these days, but in our weaknesses and in our shortcomings. And so I believe God says it, right? We don't go through things just for ourselves, but for other people. And so when we share our shortcomings, we're actually helping other people as well. So share on. We don't need more experts or gurus. We need more human beings. That's good. You know what I'm saying? God bless you. Peace.